So you want to start selling on eBay, but you're not sure how. You want to make some extra money, but you don't know where to start. Well, don't worry, because I'm here to share with you ways that you can sell on eBay in 2025 and why it's the best time to start selling now. My name is Ben and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing with you my favorite ways to sell on eBay, and stick around to the end of the video because I want to share with you my 5 favorite ways to get you above the competition. So, why should you listen to me in the first place? Well, as I said, my name is Ben and I've been selling on eBay for the past 10 years. In those 10 years, I've accumulated 100% positive feedback over 2 eBay pages. So one of the tips I want to share with you is how to gain that 100% positive feedback and how to keep it. But before we get to that, I want to share with you why in the first place should you sell on eBay. Well, a quick Google search will show us here that there are over 40,000 Australian businesses on eBay right now. eBay has nearly 12 million unique visitors per month as well. Amongst other statistics you can see here is that 2 in 3 Australian adults purchase something on eBay in a 12-month period. 66% of the adult population buys something on eBay within a 12-month window. So just think, if you have your item on eBay, I can almost guarantee that it will sell as long as you follow the tips in this video. As I mentioned earlier, I've been an eBay seller for the past 10 years and I've made over 1,200 sales over 2 eBay stores whilst maintaining 100% positive feedback on both. And on one weekend alone, I made more money on eBay than what I did in my corporate 9-to-5. So I'm here to share with you my secrets, the way I like to list on eBay, what items to look for, and how you can do the same right from the comfort of your own home. Before we get into the details, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave any comments down below. I'm keen to see what you're looking to sell, why you're looking to sell, and even some things that you'd like to see from me in the future. So let's dive in. Hey guys, Editor Ben here from the future, just jumping in to let you know that the reason why I choose to sell on eBay over other platforms such as Facebook Marketplace and Gumtree, which is kind of like Craigslist, is that the main reason for that is that you have to negotiate with a buyer on those 2 platforms. They need to message you to say, hey, I'm interested in this item, what's the cheapest you could do? Then you have to respond and say, this is my best price, would that work for you? Then there's just a lot of toing and froing in order to make that sale. So if you want to sell something cheaply, or if you want to get rid of something for free, those are the platforms to do that, in my experience. But in order to get the best money, the best value for your items, eBay is the place to do it. Because when you search something on eBay, there are a lot of listings for that item, and you can filter between best price, you can filter for free postage, you can filter for a lot of things to find the right item for you. So by putting your listing on eBay, yes, there is a bit of competition, however, it is the best place to get the best price. Plus, you have the benefit of, I would say, 90 to 95% of the time, you will be able to make your sale without having to message anyone. Usually, people on eBay will know what they're looking for, search specifically for the item, and if you feel that your item description to the best of your abilities, the buyer will find your item, and if it's within their budget, I guarantee you they will buy it. So that's why I prefer to sell on eBay over those 2 platforms, and hopefully you'll choose to sell on eBay as well. Back to the video. So now that we know that we want to sell on eBay, now we need to ask ourselves, what are we going to sell? And the best way to get into eBay selling is finding things around your home, things that you already have that you don't need to actually buy, preferably things that you're not going to use or need in the future. So that could be anything like a DVD, maybe some books you're not reading, anything at all, clothing, shoes, just some things that you were using, no longer using, or no longer need. Chances are, by you owning it, you know at least a little bit about what that item is. You might even know why you have it, you might know where it came from, you might know if it was brand new since you bought it. These are the kinds of details that can help you when it comes time to making your listing. And the best part about all this is it's completely free. You can start your eBay account for free. It doesn't cost you anything to sell, it doesn't cost you anything to accrue the item, you already have it. And the best chance of making money is when you don't have to spend money at all. Another way you can accrue items for free is asking your friends and family for things that they have that they would be looking at selling. By telling them that you're looking at selling on eBay, or that you've already started selling on eBay, you can help your friends, your family, friends, colleagues, anyone you know that you are selling on eBay and you're looking at making some extra money. So I've done it before where I've helped my family members, I've helped my friends, I've helped my colleagues sell things of theirs because they're not using things that they no longer need, no longer want, and having a little bit of extra money without having to do anything is a pretty good deal for them. You will be able to make a listing, you'll have that opportunity to get some positive feedback from doing so, and you get to keep some extra money from the sale as well. So those are two ways you can accrue items for free and will be able to boost your eBay listings dramatically if you implement that strategy. Once you have accrued a little bit of extra money, or if you want to start directly buying things immediately, another thing you could try is going to an op shop. These are shops like Lifeline, Salvos. Those are the ones here in Australia, the two main ones. In America you have Goodwill, not sure of other ones to my knowledge, but any kind of thrift shop at all tends to be the best place you can go to find really good items at really good prices. The reason for this is that people donate things that they no longer want. They don't want to have to deal with selling things themselves, and it's just easier for them to donate them to people or to donate to these organizations. You in turn can go there, you can find items for a really good price and can look up eBay prices for those items before you sell them or before you buy them to then list on eBay. That's one of the strategies that I like to do when I go out to these op shops. Is I like to scan the barcodes on the items, which is a really cool feature in the eBay app you can do. You can scan a barcode of an item and people who put that information in their listing will show you their listings. And from there, by searching for your item before you buy it, by searching for it, you can see the details. You can see how much they're selling for. You can see how much they are being sold for, because usually those are two different things, two different amounts rather. So by checking the sold status of these items, you can see what they are selling for. That's the most important thing. If you've seen other videos, you'll hear people talk about this as the sell-through rate, which is basically how many quantities of an item has sold compared to how many are listed. So for example, if 100 items have been sold and there are 50 listed, that's a 150% sell-through rate. Obviously, the higher the number there, the better the item is. The next thing to consider is the price. So for me, what I like to do is, because I've been doing this for a while, I know how much postage and shipping is. So by identifying the price of what things are selling for on eBay, I'm able to quickly determine if it's worth me buying or not. So once you're familiar with how much it costs to post something, that will make things much easier for you in future. So don't be too concerned about that at this point in time. What you can do, however, is when you are looking at something, search for those details. If it doesn't have a barcode, search for what it is. If it's a t-shirt, search the brand, the size, and any kind of detail that shows you what it is. This shirt, for example, that I'm wearing, it's a plain red shirt, Under Armour branded, and it's a size large. So I would search Under Armour men's shirt, large, and red. From there, you can see what is listed, and then most importantly, what that shirt sells for. That should give you a rough idea as to how much it will provide you in revenue and indeed profit. So for me, what I like to do is look at categories like clothing, because I wear clothes and obviously I know what quality I prefer, and so by knowing what I like to wear, I also have a good idea what other people would like to wear as well. So clothing is a good area to look into as a beginner, because it's something that everyone in the world needs and deserves to have access to. By looking for categories that are necessary, it's a good way to start, because people are always going to need clothes, people are always going to need shoes, people are always going to need food as well, but I'd suggest leaving that to the supermarkets. But for other things, here in Australia at least, we are quite a consumerist country, so we do like to collect things. I mean, you see? So DVDs, video games, we like to watch things, we like to play video games, we like to have things, we like to have these things as part of our status, you know. So collectibles are also a very good item to get into, especially if you have some at home that you no longer want or need. That's quite literally how I started selling on eBay. I had heaps of things lying around the house that I just lost interest in. I've had it for such a long time, never used it, never really looked at it. And so selling those things were a good way to start and get a foundation of cash, foundation of money to then use to buy new things to sell for even more profit. So on top of that, I've sold plenty of things across many different categories, and the foundation of my second store, eBay store, is trading cards. So the reason why I started a second eBay account was because I was helping a family member sell trading cards, realized that they were selling much quicker than other items that I had, and so I started selling my own trading cards as well. And so this was a quick way for me to sell things that would cost very little in shipping and postage, and it often yielded high returns as well. So trading cards is another great way for you, if you have some, to sell to make a nice foundation of money to reinvest later. So now that you know what you want to sell, once you have the items in your possession, it's time to make your first listing. So let's get into it. So now that we know what we want to sell on eBay, we're going to jump into the eBay app here, and in the right of the search bar you're going to see a camera icon. So by tapping this, the eBay app will open the camera. You can see this DVD I have prepared earlier that I bought today actually. We can go ahead and scan the barcode, and that will show us listings that have the barcode on these listings. So as you can see here, it's quite a valuable DVD. The reason, in my opinion, why this is, it's a series that isn't really available. It's not readily available to watch on most streaming services. So things like Disney and Marvel, those sorts of things that are easily accessible, are going to be cheaper for that reason. Things like this DVD, where it's quite difficult to watch, it's the only way to watch this series is through the DVD. These are the ones that you want to keep your eye out for on the eBay when you are searching for your eBay items. So what I like to do to make my listing is to do the following. You can search filter, and you want to scroll down after hitting show more till you get to sold items. So we can see here $21.50, $16.95 plus $4.95 postage, $22, $20, $24.95. So there's not a huge difference to what I can see between what these prices are and indeed the details of what we can see in these listings. The pictures look relatively the same. The titles are obviously very similar to what was listed before. So what I like to do is choose one of these listings that looks complete the most. Let's just choose this one, for example. And what we're going to do is click this button here, sell one like this, and this is going to draw in the bulk of the information into your own listing. Now, I would recommend to change some of these details as much as possible. Even though what you're selling is exactly this, you'll want to make sure that your details in your listing are exactly that, yours. Okay, so what we're going to do is change the title here. I always like to change the title first. I just like to say this is Terra Nova complete series region 4 free post. I'm going to say free tracking because for me, subconsciously, tracking sounds more expensive, sounds more reliable than postage does. To me, when I hear postage, I think postage stamps or untracked. So when I say free tracking, the customer knows that their item is going to arrive with tracking. So you can see here there's 65 out of 80 characters used. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else that could benefit this listing? I would just say 4 disc set, and perhaps we could also say something like, actually what would sound even better than that is we know the discs are extremely good quality, so we could say they are, and in its entirety it is as new. So it is not brand new, but it is like it is in brand new condition. So that's going to do nicely for me. I'm going to copy that, scroll down to description and paste it here as a base. You can though use AI description as well, and as you can see, it uses the information that you have input in your item description, which has been copied across from the other listing, and it provides a generic sort of selling selling text that can help you paint the picture as to what it's like. But for me, most of the time, especially with DVDs, I'll just say the title of what it is. I will say as new condition because it is, and we can also say free tracking Australia wide, and I think that should be just enough information. You can use as AI generated descriptions if you like. For me, I just prefer simple, to the point, something that people can read without having to click on the description there. So we obviously have pictures up the top as well, which we can go into now, and we can choose our pictures. Some I've prepared earlier. With DVDs, I like to show the quality of the discs as well as the condition of the casing as well. You can see here that the first image already had its background removed, which is something that I can show and share with you later, as it's one of the tricks and tips that I like to do to put my listing above others. It looks more professional. Now, just a note, eBay does have their own background remover. It's this middle button at the middle, it's the middle button here of the screen. It detects where your image is and it removes the background. Now, it's not the best. It has missed and cut out some of the bottom there. So I find it to be a little bit unreliable. It does work to an extent, but in this case it doesn't. So typically with DVDs it sort of has, and video games for that matter, it struggles to pick up where the borders are. So that shadow there you can see at the bottom left sort of interrupted the AI there. So I do have a way to remove the background, which I can show you later, which as you can see has done a good job there. So now that that's done, we're going to scroll down to condition. It's not brand new, but it's also better than very good. It is like new or as new, which as you can see from the pictures is the case from the discs there. Let's upload it twice. Let's get rid of that one there. To delete a picture, you just go select, choose which one you want to delete, and click delete, just like that. So we've done the photos, we've done the title, condition, item specifics. I just like to go in here, double check everything is as it should be. This UPC here, third line down, that's the number of the barcode. So that's the barcode number. If you want to change this, you just tap that, click the little barcode button there, and it'll bring up the camera and you can scan the barcode just like that. Just scrolling down, making sure everything looks correct and as it should be. I don't really like having director as NA, but if I don't know it, don't know who the director is, I'll just say something like multiple if it's a series, because there's most likely been a few directors on the series. Or you can put NA, but that doesn't really help with the listing itself. What that does is it just fills in the fields so that you've completed it. Because as you can see here, this little lightning icon here, it says now more buyers can find your item because you filled in the fields it wanted you to. So whether I put multiple there or NA or nothing, it's just going to tell you that more people can find your item because you filled out more fields. Now there were other things down here as well. If you want to, you could change the subgenre. You can change things like release year and anything else down here. I like all these details here. I don't think there's anything else I can add or is worth subtracting. So we're going to keep all those. You can see the green tick there. Description, short and sharp, and is done. Pricing. Now before we saw that they were around the $20 to $25 mark. So for me, I'm going to choose a price of $22.50. Usually I'll go for like $19.99, $24.99, but I think to show the value here, we're going to go $22.50. Now, you can also choose to put on offers or turn on offers. So you can choose this as well. What this does is it creates an opportunity for the buyer to send an offer to you for your item. Now for me, I like to keep it fairly concise. If someone wants to send me an offer of $15, by putting $20 as the minimum offer amount, that $15 will be rejected automatically, and I don't need to accept or reject. It'll do it for me. So we'll hit done there. You can just leave that as no offers if you choose. Quantity of 1, so if you have obviously multiples of an item, you can choose to change that quantity as well. Everything else there looks perfectly fine to me. Now we're going to go to delivery. Now there's a whole range of ways that you can send your items. You can even arrange for pickup as well by having the local pickup available. For me, I prefer to show my tracking this way. I always just choose, I don't know the package details, even though I know exactly what it's going to be sent in. I just choose that to give me all of the available options. Now there are a lot to choose from, but for your first listing, I would suggest using carrier packaging. And what you can do, and I'll throw a picture up, I'll link it in description for you to see this, but I'll always choose the Australia Post domestic regular letter with tracking. This way, it's the cheapest way to offer tracking for a DVD or video game, in my experience. So, how much do you want to charge for your postage? I always, without fail, offer free postage, because some people will only search for free postage. Some people will not care if they have to pay for postage. But for me, I always prefer to offer free postage in case people only search for free postage items. So now that we've done that, we have that finished. And preferences down here, without getting into too much detail, I've got their handling time 1 business day. I have all this saved beforehand, which is something that you can set up for yourself as well. But for me, handling time or lead time, 1 day. So if someone buys something on Wednesday, I'm going to send it on Thursday. So what this does is it will populate on eBay's algorithm how long that the person who is looking for this item, how long they can expect this item to take. And if someone from Queensland, where I'm from, is buying, it will show up on the listing. This can take between 3 to 4 days, which is actually very quick for Australia Post standards. No offense, but that's actually pretty quick. So with that, you can even choose to promote your listing as well. You can see here 49% of items in DVDs and Blu-rays are promoted right now. I always select a custom ad rate of 2%. That's the lowest percentage, but it also allows the algorithm to put your listing above others in the search before people put their filters on. So 2% for a $22 item is not going to be much at all. So, and it can be the difference between making the sale and not making the sale. So with all that, it's taken no more than 10 minutes start to finish, and you have a complete listing done and ready for uploading by clicking list it. And after a moment or two, you can see there your listing is live. So that's all there is to it. That's how you can make your first listing on eBay. So you've sold your first item on eBay. Congratulations. Now, how do we actually post the item? If it's not something like this that will sell in a DVD or a video game and fit in there, maybe it's a hat or a piece of clothing, a toy. If you're not sure what the cheapest way to post your item, I would suggest taking it down to the post office, show them what it is, and let them help you package the item as cheap as possible. From there, you'll have a better idea as to how much you can expect to pay each time for that item. You can do some extra research as well. You could go to the Australia Post website and type in shipping calculator or something along those lines to find out their guide and restrictions and limitations to work out how much you can expect to pay for a particularly sized object. So from there, with experience and with time, you'll know exactly how much you're going to pay per item before you even buy the item. So check with the post office or whichever carrier you'll be using as to how to package the item, how to choose what size of box it goes in, what have you. Whatever the cheapest way is, do a little bit of research, ask some questions, and you'll get there before you know it. So now that we know what we're looking to buy, we know how to list an item, and we know how to post the item as well, you're well on your way to becoming a full-time, part-time eBay seller. The best thing about this is it's completely up to you what you want to get from it. Do you want to become a full-time eBay seller? Or do you want to earn a little extra money on the side of your 9 to 5? That's completely up to you. But now that we've reached the part of the video where I'm going to share my 5 favorite tips and tricks which will help put you above the competition. Let's dive straight in. So the first thing that can put you above the competition is, I've actually mentioned it before, it's offer free postage on your eBay listings. Now, as I said earlier, some people will only search for free postage. For some reason, psychologically, we want to get a good deal. And if we can say, hey, I got this for $25, I got this for $15, we don't really say, I got this for $14 and $10 postage. It's not really how psychology works with those sorts of things, at least in my experience anyway. So by offering free postage, you can integrate the cost of the postage into the price of your listing. By offering free postage, you are guaranteed to have your listing show up in anyone's search as long as what they're looking for is what you have. If you have paid postage on your listing, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, I think with offering free postage, you have a better chance of making your listing seen and hopefully then bought as well. However, if you are a serious eBay seller, sometimes offering free postage might not work for you, because then you have to then calculate how much you've spent on postage. But if you're just starting out, offering free postage may be the way to go for you. Tip number 2, and I mentioned it earlier with the removing of the background. So there's an app you can use, which I'm just going to open now, and it's called Photo Room. Now, Photo Room is a free app. You don't need an account, you don't need to sign up to anything. You can use it for free, no problem at all. So, just starting it up here, you can see what you do. Start from photo, and you can choose any image you like, and the AI in this is really good, as you can see here. So if we choose the image we had before, this AI actually picks it up a little better. It's not perfect, but it is certainly better than what we saw before with eBay's AI. So all you do there is an export, save image, and that's it. It is as simple as that. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to remove the background for every single photo. It's that first one that you really want to have look nice, because that's going to be the picture that people see. If people like what they see, they're probably going to click on your ad, your listing, and they're going to see what you have to offer them. That's a great way to get people to click on your item and to engage that professionalism, to put you above other listings where they may not have necessarily put a lot of effort or thought into what their image looks like. And that only took quite literally a matter of seconds. Now, this isn't sponsored by any means. It's just an app that I use and have used since I've started selling on eBay, since I've found out about the app, and I've never had to pay for it, and it's always done a good job. Tip number 3. Now, this is quite a unique one, and I haven't quite heard of anyone actually mention this before. When you start selling on eBay, when you've been selling on eBay at all for any amount of time, you will have a name for your page, for your store. So what I like to do with my name, when I started to create my second eBay store, I thought, what is a way to demonstrate, 1, what it is that I'm selling, and 2, how can I make it as visible as possible to anyone that decides to search for these kinds of stores. So what I ended up doing was, for the trading card store, is I named it All Cards Collect. Now, why is that? All Cards Collect because I was interested in trading cards. I had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I had Pokemon cards, I had soccer cards, I had basketball cards. So I wanted people to know that what they could expect to see is cards that are collectible and are from a range of companies, a range of sports, a range of TV shows. Now, the reason why I chose All Cards Collect, because it starts with the letter A. So when you are an eBay shopper, you're a customer on eBay, you can save sellers, ones that you might like to go back to later, ones that you like to see what they have for sale next week or next month. So by calling my second store All Cards Collect, when you go to your saved sellers page, you have the ability to show up first. So by calling my store All Cards Collect, I was able to put myself above other sellers in the list where people save their best sellers, their favorite sellers. So it's a feature on eBay where you can follow a seller. You can follow someone who you want to see what they have each week. Maybe you want to support someone you know who is selling on eBay. You want to see what they're doing. You can save those sellers to your favorites list. And so when you do so as a customer, when you click on that list, it sorts automatically alphabetically. So by calling my store All Cards Collect, I am able to put myself above the list of others. And you can even go one step further and go with numbers as well. As long as you can integrate that into the name of your store, the name of what you are expecting to sell, you want to paint that image in the customer's mind whilst also being alphabetically first if possible. Now that brings us to tip number 4. So if you're new to eBay and you're not sure how to package something, this is a great thing you can do, and it's something that I've done before as well, and that is buy something that you are looking to sell. So now I'm not saying that you need to buy something that costs $20. I'm just saying buy something that you're going to need, buy something that you are going to sell, buy something that you're going to be similarly selling, if that makes sense. So if you are wanting to sell maybe one of your shirts, I would buy a shirt as well, just to see how that is packaged to you. Then you can ask yourself, how do I feel about this? Has it met my expectations? Is it what I wanted it to be? Are you disappointed with how long it took? Are you disappointed with the quality of the packaging? Now, a good example as to what you would like to see is something that has bubble wrap if it's something that's fragile. You don't want to have some books in a box that's too big for them with no newspaper or no packaging material there to support it. So by buying something that you want to sell, you will have a good idea on how to then package it for yourself. Then you can even sell that item on yourself as well. By doing this, you get a good expectation into how you're going to send your items. You have a good idea as to how the customer is going to receive the item. Will they be happy with it? Are they going to receive it in a similar positive way? These are the things that some people don't really consider, and they just put the item in a box and that's it. Even though you put something in a box, it still may get damaged if it's moving around in the box and there's nothing in there to stop it from moving. So buying something is a great way for you to get an idea as to how to package your own items. Now this is a great segue into the final tip number 5, around 100% positive feedback. Now the reason why feedback is important is that it is a feedback-based algorithm. What that means is that eBay prefer top-rated sellers and will automatically put their listings above others who don't have 100% positive feedback, and that gives the customer the satisfaction, the peace of mind that they are going to be looked after when they buy their particular purchase. Now you can get eBay sellers with 90% positive feedback and you can still get a good experience as the customer. However, there is a reason why they're not 100%. Now I've been able to keep 100% positive feedback thanks to going that little bit extra effort in dealing with my customers. If there's an issue, I let them know that I apologized. That wasn't my intent for them to receive the item, and it didn't meet their expectations. So whenever there's an issue with an item you've sent someone, always address it, always offer a refund if you need, and just make sure you always take care of the customer first, because without a customer, you don't have any business. So take care of the customer and they will take care of you as well. And if you just do the right thing, if you live up to your expectations, if you deliver on your handling time, you deliver on time, quite literally, you deliver with great packaging, it's presented well, that shows the customer that you care about this item just as much as they do, and they're the one that bought it. So make sure you take care of the customer, you take care of them, and they can provide you with positive feedback. And to be completely honest, there's not much more to it. If you do the best you possibly can, you show care, you show empathy, and you deliver on your promises, you are very much on your way to receiving positive feedback. Now, don't get discouraged if you receive negative or neutral feedback. It is not the end of the world, but just do your best to resolve the issues before they become issues in the first place. If you'd like to know any more information about positive feedback, I might do a separate video on that altogether, but make sure you take care of the customer and they'll take care of you as well. So there you have it, guys. There is my detailed view in how to sell on eBay in 2025. We've learned how to source your items. We've learned how to list them as easy as possible. We've learned a little bit about how to package them, how to send them, and we've also learned 5 crucial tips to help you get above the competition. Now, if this is something you enjoyed, please like the video, leave any comments down below. What was your favorite tip? What's something you'd like to see in future? Would you like to see more eBay content? Let me know, and I'll greatly appreciate your feedback. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to learn more about eBay and other money making ideas. It'd be great to have you along for the journey. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.